What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 120, and we start today's episode with confirmation that Ricardo Montolivo has indeed been sold and will join Udinese for £3.2 million. I'm okay with that. He was 35 years old, although 79 overall, was probably going to retire next season. He's not an important first-team player of our squad. He was on a salary that we didn't want to keep on paying, so he goes to Udinese. We get a little bit of scratch for him, and he's off to the Stadio Friuli, so I'm totally fine with that. And also following that as well, 3 players were waiting to join us on a pre-contract next season. Now, in the last episode, we put in bids for Shaqiri, Lamela, Januzaj, and Gelson Martins. Shaqiri did not want to come to us. No real surprise being a former Inter player. But Januzaj, Lamela, and Gelson Martins were all waiting to come in. I didn't know who to sign here. I thought all 3 of these players would be really good choices. So what I decided to do is throw it out to you guys on Twitter, let you guys have the say, and you guys decided that I should sign Adnan Januzaj. So thank you to everyone for voting. Over 500 of you got involved, 541 total votes, and Januzaj was the guy you chose. Over 70% of the votes chose Januzaj, and I was actually quite surprised about it as well, because Januzaj may look like the best choice. 82 overall, only 24 years old. He seems like the best choice out of all of them. 82 overall is the highest, and 24 years old. He's still got room to get even better. But for some reason, I just thought Lamela might do quite well. For some reason, I don't know why this is, but I just think Lamela seems like a Milan player, doesn't he? I don't know why. Maybe just me being stupid. But for some reason, when I looked at all these 3 players, I was thinking Lamela looks like an ideal fit for Milan for some reason. So I thought he might do quite well. And Gelson Martins as well looks like a really good young and up-and-comer player. Is that right? He's a good youngster on this year's FIFA. And I thought it'd be a really decent choice as well. But you guys just blitzed the voting for Adnan Januzaj, and Januzaj will be coming in next season. So thank you to everyone for voting. I've used Lamela before. I've never used Gelson Martins before, at least I don't think so. But I've never used Januzaj before either. So I know what a few of you guys might be saying in the comments. Oh my god, so obvious, Januzaj, so typical. Well, I've never used the guy before, so, it'll be interesting to see what I can do with him. And, again, thank you to everyone for voting. I just thought this was the fairest way of choosing one of those players. Let you guys make the decision. I like to try and get you guys involved in my series as much as possible. It's obviously not easy when you run the episodes a few days in advance, if that makes sense. You make the episodes a few days before you see them, so it's not really easy to get you guys involved very much, other than letting me choose new teams and whatnot. But every now and then, to try and make a new signing, I like to try and get you guys involved when I can. I used to do it, quite frequently, not as much anymore. I'll try and do it a bit more now. But either way, I threw it out to you guys on Twitter. That's why you should follow me on Twitter, by the way, at @DocLanders, link in the description, so you guys can get involved in choices like this. And again, thank you to everyone for voting. But Januzaj was the guy you chose, and he will come in on a pre-contract next season. But following that, we put in a bid for Djokovic of Watford. Now, I've seen so many comments over the past few episodes from people saying, you replace Muslera with Djokovic. I've seen so many of those comments. So I put in a bid for Djokovic, just a straight swap deal with Muslera. We shall wait and see what Watford say. Also putting some new pre-contract players here for some central midfielders. We'll wait and see what Watford say. I was almost certain that Muslera was going to lead the club in January. He was in such bad form at the start of the season, but he's really turned it around in recent weeks. So I'm not actually sure if I do want to do that deal or not. He's in good form right now. We'll have to wait and see, though. I still wouldn't mind getting Djokovic into the club, though, as the new number 1 for Milan for many years to come. Only 18 years old, already 80 overall. Was, of course, the monster for Canada in our World Cup with the Canadians. Led the team out, was absolutely phenomenal, and we shall wait and see whether he comes in and Muslera goes to Vicarage Road.
Well, he's looked, the manager, at what they need in the transfer market, and he's decided that a strong central defender is what's required, and here he is making his debut.
Yeah, they conceded 1 or 2 sloppy goals, I thought, last season particularly, and in an effort to stop that, he brings in this player who might just be able to plug some gaps.
And for the first and only game of today's episode here, we will take on our rivals Inter at the San Siro. But of course, we will be considered the away team for this game, taking on Inter in the Derby della Madonnina, or of course the Milan Derby, as I'll call it, because I know my pronunciations are terrible. So taking on Inter for the first and only game of today's episode. Of course, in the reverse fixture in the first half of the season, we took on Inter when we were considered a home side at the San Siro, and we managed to beat them by 2-1. Montolivo, who just got sold to Udinese, scored a goal in that game, scored a second goal, which ended up proving to be a crucial one. So coming to this game, taking on Inter here, well, what a start to the game it was. Just 11 minutes in, we would open the scoring through, guess who? Marco the Magician. Of course, Marco Ryan with his first goal in a Milan derby, hopefully the first of many to come. Received the ball, took it round his man, a little bit fortunate it must be said, but gets his 9th goal in the Serie A this season and does make it 1-0 to Milan. So really pleased, what a start to this game. game as we do open the scoring. Inter almost pegged us back though, just a few minutes after that. Rugani making his debut, gave the ball away. I failed to release the ball on time, but thankfully the shot hit the post and we got the ball away. But then a few minutes after that, we were on the break ourselves here. De Sciglio found Martial, and Martial, who scored 2 goals in his last game against Napoli, his first goal since returning from injury, gets his third in 2, and it's Inter 0, Milan 2, 18 minutes in, and the home fans would have been stunned because in the game against Inter at the San Siro, in the first game between these two sides in the first half of the season, Inter played far better and were really unfortunate to not come away with a win. And in this game already to be 2 goals up 90 minutes in, yes, Inter hit the post, but what a start for Milan. First Marco Ryan-Tala, then Anthony Martial, 2 goals to Milan already. What a start. And Inter were looking under massive pressure already, and in the 24th minute here, Marco Ryan-Tala went for goal from range there with that free kick, but Handanovic made the save and turned it behind for a corner. But the break, as you can see, we were 2 goals up in this game, 2 goals in the first 20 minutes through Ryan-Tala and Martial, and Inter were really struggling in this game, weren't getting too many chances on the board, and in the 65th minute here, some terrible goalkeeping from Handanovic saw us hit the bar from the corner with the header coming in, hitting the woodwork, but in the centre it was turned in by Donnarumma, and 20 minutes after the restart, the score here at the San Siro was Inter 0, Milan 3. So terrible goalkeeping from Handanovic, Martial hitting the bar, but Donnarumma turning in the rebound. 3 goals up in this game, and Inter's defending was absolutely terrible, and their attacks as well were really, really sparse. They weren't attacking us at all. They weren't looking good on offense or defense, to be honest, and we were 3 goals up. And in the 81st minute here, after a really nice passing move from the back, Martial goes through one-on-one, looking for his second goal of the game. Handanovic takes him down, and the referee has no choice but to award a penalty here in the final 8 minutes. So Handanovic not having a good game and now concedes a penalty as well. It really was falling apart for Milan here as we were still up by 3 goals to 0 and had a chance to make it 4 from the spot. Who will stand up and take the penalty? Well, Martial may have got 1 goal, but so is this guy, and he is our regular penalty taker. Marco Ryan-Tala, don't think he's missed a penalty for us in a Milan shirt so far, and he's not going to start here either. Sends Handanovic the wrong way. What a penalty as well by our captain, leader, magician, Marco Ryan-Tala, who puts it into the top corner and makes it Inter 0, Milan 4, as he makes no mistake from the spot. So Martial comes to celebrate with him. It's a team game, we know that. He doesn't mind Ryan-Tala taking the penalty so long as he converts them, and he does. Ryan-Tala gets his second of the game. He's already reached double figures in the league so far, and this is a winger. I said I wanted him to add goals to his game. He scored a couple of penalties, some from open play as well, and a free kick too. Ryan-Tala this season has added goals to his game, and he is making the step up from a good player to a world-class one. He's into double figures for the season in the league. It's now 14 goals in total as well if you include the Champions League goals, and it's Inter 0, Milan 4, the most important thing, as we have humiliated our rivals in our second meeting. So Inter 0, Milan 4. Sadly, we wouldn't be able to keep a clean sheet on Rugani's debut though. They would get themselves back in the game, make it 4-1. I say back in the game, get them a consolation goal, make it 4-1 here. A really nice move as well, and what a strike too. This was actually a really nice goal from Inter, and as you can see here, it's a really good finish by George Puskas, so maybe going for the Puskas award there with a fantastic goal. Really nice one, but the game does finish Inter 1, Milan 4, and it proves to be nothing other than consolation as we expected. So 2 goals for Ryan-Tala, 1 for Donnarumma, and 1 for Martial as well. Puskas does indeed grab a very nice, I should say, consolation for Inter, but we get the win by 4 goals to 1. So absolutely delighted about that. What a victory for us. A really pleasing result, and just completely embarrassing our rivals here in the away fixture between these two sides, if you will, was really nice to see. And of course, significance this result too does mean now, because we know Inter will be going for the title come the end of the season, as we'll be trying to do so as well, we have the better head-to-head record now after 2 games, which could prove to be a significant factor. So really pleased with that. A fantastic win. One of our best wins of the series so far, in all honesty, with both Watford and Milan. Surely our best win with Milan so far. A really great result, and really good to see us get 4 goals in that game and get all 3 points. So very happy with that. And following that as well, Bangardino came to us as well, so he was disappointed not to start in the game. I was thinking, mate, we won the game 4-1. I think you can forgive me for giving Rugani his debut, can't you? But anyway, we won the game by 4 goals to 1. Really pleased with that, and a really, really good result. But still, following that, a big came in for Donnarumma, who scored in that last game against Inter. We say no, though. I really like this guy. He's grown a couple of ratings this season, only 20 years old, 78 overall. Is, of course, Pirlo's regen. We want to keep him here. And also a big came in for Verdi as well, who agreed a new contract with a few episodes ago. Toulouse want to take him to France for £9.5 million. We say give us 11, and we'll wait and see what they say, because I wouldn't be against selling Verdi for over his valuation. He's just a squad player. player here, but we'll have to wait and see, as I do like using him every now and then in the cup games and midweek fixtures and whatnot. But that is going to end today's episode of Career Mode, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do consider leaving a like, so that's of course much appreciated. It really helps my channel out, but of course you don't have to leave a like if you don't want to, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.